the atmosphere surrounding BTS and Jimin has once again reached another level of excitement, and this time, all eyes are turning toward Toronto. As anticipation continues to build around the group's appearance at Rogers Stadium, fans have begun wondering whether something extraordinary could be waiting inside the venue. For ARMY, a BTS concert is never simply a concert. It is an experience filled with music, unforgettable performances, emotional interactions, spectacular production, and moments that fans remember for years. And when the possibility of a special surprise enters the conversation, the excitement immediately becomes even greater. Rogers Stadium in Toronto has become the center of attention among fans who are eagerly waiting to see what could happen when BTS takes the stage. Speculation has been growing about whether the venue could prepare a special experience for the group and the thousands of fans expected to gather there. Of course, unless officially announced by BTS, their management, or the venue, details about any surprise should be treated as speculation rather than confirmed information. But that has not stopped ARMY from imagining what could be waiting for Jimin and the rest of BTS, and honestly, that mystery may be part of what makes the anticipation so exciting. Imagine the lights inside the stadium slowly fading, thousands of light sticks beginning to glow, the enormous crowd suddenly becoming silent, then a massive visual appearing across the stadium screens. For a few seconds, nobody knows what is happening, and then the entire venue erupts. That is exactly the kind of moment fans are imagining when they talk about a possible Rogers Stadium surprise. Toronto has always had a passionate relationship with BTS and its fans. Whenever the group appears in a major city, ARMY finds creative ways to show their love. From banners and fan projects to synchronized light displays and emotional messages, fans have repeatedly demonstrated that their support goes far beyond simply attending a concert. For Jimin in particular, moments like these can become deeply emotional. Jimin has often been recognized by fans for the way he responds to the audience. A small gesture from the crowd can change his expression instantly. A sea of lights, a coordinated chant, or thousands of fans singing together can create a visible emotional reaction. That is why the possibility of a surprise dedicated to Jimin has generated so much curiosity. What could it be? Could the entire stadium participate in a synchronized lightstick project? Could fans prepare a special message? Could the screens display a tribute celebrating Jimin's journey? Could there be a coordinated fan event during one of BTS's most emotional songs? Or could the surprise involve the entire group rather than Jimin alone? Nobody knows for certain. And that uncertainty is exactly what has ARMY talking. The most exciting part is that stadium surprises do not always need to be enormous physical installations. Sometimes, the most unforgettable moments are created by the audience itself. Thousands of people holding the same message can transform an entire stadium. Thousands of lights changing at exactly the same moment can create an unforgettable visual. And thousands of voices singing for the members can make a performer stop in the middle of a performance simply to take in the moment. For BTS, these moments have always carried special meaning. The relationship between BTS and ARMY has developed over many years, and the audience is not merely watching a performance. Fans often feel as though they are participating in the story. That is why a potential Toronto fan project could become much more than a simple surprise. It could become a message. A message saying that no matter how far BTS travels, no matter how many stages they perform on, and no matter how much time passes, the connection between the members and their fans remains powerful. And Jimin may be one of the members most likely to feel that emotion intensely. Anyone familiar with Jimin's stage presence knows that there are two sides to his performance style. On one side, there is the powerful performer. The moment the music starts, Jimin can transform the atmosphere completely. His movements become precise, his expressions become intense, and his presence can dominate the stage. But on the other side, there is Jimin, the person who often becomes visibly touched by the audience. That contrast is one of the reasons so many fans adore him. He can perform with extraordinary confidence one moment, and then suddenly look genuinely surprised when the audience creates an unexpected emotional moment. So imagine thousands of fans preparing something without revealing it. Imagine Jimin walking onto the stage without knowing what is about to happen. The concert continues normally. The lights move across the audience. The music reaches a particular point. Then suddenly, the entire stadium changes. The audience raises coordinated banners or activates their light sticks. Jimin looks toward the crowd. He realizes what is happening. His expression changes. For a few seconds, the superstar disappears behind the emotion of the moment. And instead, fans see Jimin simply taking in the love being directed toward him. That is the kind of scene ARMY dreams about. But the potential surprise is not necessarily limited to Jimin. BTS has always functioned as a group, and any major stadium project could potentially celebrate all 7 members. A Toronto audience could create a giant purple ocean. The entire stadium could become one enormous canvas. The screens could display messages from fans across Canada. The crowd could sing a song together without the members initiating it, or fans could create a visual sequence that moves from one section of the stadium to another. The possibilities are practically endless, and that is why the phrase Rogers Stadium Surprise has captured so much attention. The mystery itself creates anticipation. Fans start imagining what could happen. Then other fans add their own ideas. Soon, an ordinary concert becomes a shared mystery. Everyone wants to know whether something special will happen. And if it does, nobody wants to be the person who misses it. This is also where social media can dramatically increase the excitement. One photograph from inside the venue can spread across the internet within minutes. One short video showing a mysterious stage setup can trigger thousands of theories. One comment from someone claiming to have seen something unusual can lead to hours of discussion. ARMY communities are exceptionally active when it comes to concert preparation. Fans often exchange information about merchandise, venue layouts, entrances, lightstick projects, banners, and possible fan events. But there is also an important reason to remain cautious. Not every rumor circulating online is true. Sometimes a fan theory becomes repeated so many times that people begin treating it as confirmed information. That is why the idea of a Rogers Stadium surprise should remain exciting without being presented as an established fact until an official source confirms it. Still, speculation does not make the anticipation any less entertaining. In fact, sometimes the mystery makes the eventual concert even more enjoyable. Fans arrive with expectations. They wonder whether something will happen. They look around the venue. They notice unusual lighting. They see production equipment. They hear a particular sound during rehearsal. Suddenly, every little detail seems meaningful. And that is exactly what makes major BTS concert events so fascinating. The audience is not simply waiting for the opening song. They are waiting for a memory. For Jimin, Toronto could become another city associated with a special connection between BTS and ARMY, and if the crowd manages to surprise him, the reaction could potentially become one of the most talked about moments of the event. There is something particularly powerful about surprising an artist who has spent years surprising the audience. BTS has delivered countless unforgettable performances. Jimin has produced countless memorable stage moments. Fans have watched him dance, sing, interact with the members, laugh, tease, become emotional, and communicate with the audience. But when the audience reverses the direction of that energy and surprises him, the dynamic changes. The performer becomes the person being celebrated. The stage becomes the audience's message, and the crowd becomes the storyteller. That is what makes fan projects so meaningful. They give fans an opportunity to say something that cannot always be expressed through ordinary cheering. They can say thank you. They can say welcome. They can say we missed you. They can say we are still here. And they can say that the journey continues. For Jimin, such a message could be especially meaningful because his relationship with fans has been built around emotional communication. Even when he is performing a choreography with extraordinary intensity, his connection with the audience remains visible. A glance toward a particular section, a smile after hearing a chant, a wave, a laugh, a moment of silence while listening to the crowd. These tiny moments often become the memories fans treasure most. So if Rogers Stadium truly becomes the setting for an unexpected surprise, it may not be the size of the production that matters. It may be Jimin's reaction. That reaction could be a smile. It could be laughter. It could be shock. It could be Jimin looking toward the other members as if asking what is happening. Or perhaps he could simply stand there for a moment, absorbing the sight of thousands of people showing their love. And that possibility alone is enough to make fans excited. Another fascinating aspect of the Toronto anticipation is the scale of the venue. A stadium environment creates possibilities that are very different from a smaller concert hall. The audience can become part of the visual production. Every section can participate. The upper levels can contribute to enormous patterns. The field can become a sea of coordinated lights. Large screens can amplify messages. And the sound of thousands of voices can completely transform the atmosphere. When BTS performs in a stadium, the members are not merely performing in front of a crowd. They are surrounded by an entire environment. Every light, every scream, every movement, and every visual element contributes to the experience. That is why a coordinated Toronto fan project could potentially be spectacular. Imagine the opening moment. The stadium is dark. A single spotlight appears. The audience begins to glow purple. One section changes, then another, then another. Within seconds, the entire stadium becomes illuminated. From the stage, the members see what appears to be an enormous ocean of light. Jimin looks toward the audience. Perhaps he smiles. Perhaps he turns toward Jungkook. Perhaps RM notices the surprise first. Maybe Jin reacts with disbelief. Maybe SUGA gives a small smile. Maybe J-Hope immediately starts interacting with the crowd. Maybe V waves toward a particular section. And suddenly the entire group realizes that the audience has prepared something special. That kind of moment would not belong to one person. It would belong to everyone. BTS Army Toronto. And the countless people watching the moment online. But there is another reason fans are particularly interested in Jimin.